She sighed and looked down at her partner. See the kind of nonsense I have to put up with? Rath grinned. Deserve it. Diana swatted him gently with the back of her hand on the bulletproof vest that protected his torso. Traitor. I call them as I see them. The processes that had been running deep inside Diana's mind, checking her assumptions to make sure she hadn't forgotten anything or based her plans on something that wasn't true, finished their work. Everything looked solid. Okay, smash and bash it is. Croft and Stark, you're in the back. Affirmative, Cara confirmed. Hercules and Khan, you get the honor of the main entrance. Anik dryly replied, Gee, thanks, boss. She glanced down at Rath. Rambo and I will go in from the roof. We'll all hit simultaneously, 1 minute from now. A countdown clock appeared on her display as it would for all her team members. Don't worry about being quiet. Cara jogged across the street and down the alley that faced hers. The downtown area's symmetrical layout was a definite positive as far as planning for and executing the night's adventure was concerned. Tony stayed close behind, allowing her to focus on what lay ahead, secure that he covered her back. She peeked carefully around the corner of the building, but the thermal view in her glasses had been correct. No one was present. She scowled at the stone structure as the same heat-sensing function identified 4 brightly colored blobs on the other side of the wall, to the left and right of the rear entrance. As the count on her display clicked over to 15 seconds remaining, she said, I have a welcoming committee back here. Diana replied, Threatening enough to abort? Nah. Hank chuckled. So, you're complaining then, is that it? Cara rolled her neck and repeatedly shrugged, warming herself up for the fight to come. Bite me, meathead. His bark of laughter filled the remaining space in the countdown. When it hit 0, she raised her hands and sent magical power surging through them. The doors flew off their hinges from the force blast's impact and hurtled into the theater building. She charged forward, summoning shields of the same magic to protect her and her partner as they entered. Gunfire sounded, and bullets smashed against her defenses, failing to penetrate as she reflexively ducked to avoid them. Standard ammo back here. She wasn't sure why their foes had chosen not to use magic, unless they were non-magical hirelings of the cult or something, but didn't have time to worry. She hurled a force blast to her right, knocking the pair of assailants in that direction backward to stumble and fall to the floor. Tony's pistol barked with the softer sound of his smaller handgun, not the roar of the Desert Eagle. She glanced to her left, saw that he'd shot both opponents on that side in the leg. His accuracy amazing as always, and was advancing to disarm them. She ran toward her fallen foes. One had almost regained his feet, and the other had climbed up to hands and knees. She landed a kick in the ribs of the one lower to the ground. The power of the blow flipped him onto his back to gasp through a gaping mouth, trying to find his breath. Her fist crashed into the other's jaw, the stun blast from her shock glove rolling his eyes back in his head as he slumped to the floor. She knelt and tapped the other's cheek with the back of her fist to shock him into unconsciousness. Rising and turning revealed that Tony had done the same with his. She announced, Clear back. When the clock had hit 0, Hank had slammed force magic into the plywood-covered front doors. Metal twisted and the compressed wood exploded into splinters in a satisfying detonation. He stepped through the resulting destruction, careful not to trip on the bent frames. He'd seen the 4 people awaiting them in his thermal display and called up shields on both sides. The defense nullified the incoming rounds as he charged immediately to his left. He grabbed the first foe's weapon and smashed it into his face, breaking the man's nose and causing him to lurch backward with a shout of anger as blood spurted. With his free hand, he looped a wide punch into the other one's mouth, the power of the blow overcoming the weak block his target attempted. His shock glove put the man on the floor, unconscious before he landed. Magic surged through Hank, the hand-to-hand combat feeding his magic reservoir. Turning back to the first, who still gripped the other end of his rifle, Hank released the gun barrel, stepped forward, and delivered a quick 3-punch combo to the man's face. He was already falling after the first. The second and third were unnecessary, but enjoyable.